So just to recap some of our COVID responsible measures, the use of face coverings should continue, particularly in poorly ventilated spaces. This is sort of indoor spaces, transport, or if you're doing close, contact activities. That doesn't include sports. If you're running around a sports hall or you're, singing on stage, then no need to do this. But if you're working in those poorly ventilated, close spaces, use of face coverings is still recommended. Not legally required, but highly recommended by the NYA. Hygiene measures must continue. You must make sure all those venues are clean, people using that hand sanitizer. You can still provide back-to-back sessions, but we recommend you clean your venue in between so that, if there was a problem in group 1, that doesn't get picked up by group 2 an hour later. So, you can use the same members of staff and they can work across multiple days of the week. None of that is a problem. All this is the standard. None of this has changed from last time, folks. But do think through, hygiene. You can use community and public venues. Everywhere can now be opened. There's no venue that shouldn't, be allowing you in and opening for provision. Everywhere can be operating. The use of private dwellings remains prohibited. Now, this isn't because of COVID-19 regulations. This is because of NYA safeguarding requirements. So we will not recommend or allow the use of private dwellings. This is an area that we have been challenged on by a number of organisations and parts of the sector, and we are reviewing our stance on this, and we are talking to other experts across other bodies as we do so. But as it stands today, the use of private dwellings remains prohibited. But home visits to visit young people are absolutely fine. So if you're a worker that goes and visits a young person with maybe extreme anxiety, who doesn't have the capacity to visit a youth project but in a public space, so you need to go to them. As long as you've got the right risk assessments, as long as you've followed all your right safeguarding measures, there's sufficient adults in the venue, in the space, in the home, then you can go and visit young people. That's not a problem, and we've allowed this for quite some time. So lateral flow testing. All attendees for educational, overnight, residentials and international trips, should be tested every 2 to 3 days, and specifically on departure as well. So you don't take anybody away who's already got COVID-19 and sadly they can't come with you. Test the whole group. Now, one of the things that we've added to the guidance this time around is Public Health has changed their approach to testing. So one of the challenges, if you've had COVID-19 within the last 90 days, there is a reasonable risk that your lateral flow test may come back positive, even though you no longer are positive for the virus. And this is because when you have the virus, it lives in your body. Your body fights it off, and as it does so, those virus cells die. But the tests are there to detect the cells, whether they're dead or alive. So you can do the test, but the test might come back positive, although what the test is picking up is on the dead COVID-19 cells within your system. And it can take you 3 months to work those through and get them out of your body. So the latest advice from Public Health Test and Trace is if you've had a positive diagnosis of COVID-19 within the last 90 days, there is no longer a need to undertake a lateral flow test before you go on that residential or while you're away, because the risk of it coming back positive is high. So it's slightly changed in terms of that 90-day component. There's a lot of people coming back positive actually when they were negative, from being at risk of transmitting the virus, because the virus is dead but it's in their system still. It takes 90 days to get out. Now, we still want the youth sector to be really careful around insurance. Just because you can travel overseas doesn't mean your insurance provider will permit you to or will insure you to do so. You may need to find and seek additional insurances and additional measures. Some countries' health systems may not provide support if you pick up COVID-19 whilst overseas. It's a bit of a minefield, in truth. So contact your travel agent. Contact your insurance provider. Be really clear before you go that you have got the best cover you need that covers the things in all eventualities. Just be really responsible. Check this stuff out. Get it in writing. Get it written down. Get them to email you the advice and be really clear that you've got all the right levels of protection and cover that you feel you need before you go. Now, I just wanted to pick up a few things. So if a young person shows signs of illness, then they should obviously be tested and transported home. Now, I said here by private car. If they're overseas and they are tested positive, you're going to need to talk to the local health officials and follow the local guidance there. There's nothing the NYA can kind of advise centrally. Transporting one young person home overseas may not be practical and reasonable, so you might need to be able to isolate them wherever you've gone, and and follow the health officials' guidance in that country. So there's quite a lot of things to consider when going abroad. But it's all that information is on the Foreign Office website. So please go and look at that. If a member of staff shows sign of illness, then the whole group might need to return home. Again, if overseas, that might be slightly more different or difficult. But do consider, if you've gone away and you've only got 2 or 3 staff, one of them's come ill, leaving you with too few staff, then the whole group might need to return home. Let's hope not, but we have known examples of where that's taken place. So anybody who does show signs of illness that's related to COVID-19, and these are coughs, loss of taste, and all those sorts of things. There's a very long list of those now. Do immediately isolate and seek a test. Any group member where someone shows signs of illness needs to seek that COVID-19 test and isolate if positive. And standard stuff. This hasn't changed. You can find all the information from the NYA on our COVID-19 guidance on our website, and you can find access to this video, you can find access to the download of the new documentation, and you can go to our website at any point, and the front page of our website will tell you whether what the COVID level is. You can also get in touch with us if you have a specific situation and you're not quite clear on, and you can email us, which is guidance@nya.org.uk. You just drop us an email at guidance@nya.org.uk, and our team will get back to you. We get quite a lot of emails through that process, so it does take us a day or two sometimes to get back to you. We've been trying to be swift as we can, but we are here to help and support. So if you have any specific questions or areas of concern that you're not 100% sure on, get in touch with us. We'll do our best. We may refer you to others. So if you come to us about international travel, we are not experts in this, but we may be able to point you in the right direction.